Yo, what is going on, guys? It's your boy Dobbs here. But you guys, round one playoff bracket, I guess you could say predictions for the Stanley Cup Finals for 2014. That is right, guys. So I'm really excited. I did this last year. I predicted Boston winning the Stanley Cup. Ended up being Chicago, so it's pretty close, and a lot of you guys really liked my predictions. I got a lot of good feedback, and we got to talk some hockey, which I really enjoyed, so I'm bringing it back for this year, alright? So, we got a really good matchups this year. I'm going to enjoy a lot of these series, and it's going to be a great year for playoff hockey, like it always is, you know? So, let's get started. Let's look on the right side of the screen. Each team has their records, the amount of points in their standings, all that good stuff is right beside the team logo, so you guys can check that out. But let's get started here. So the first series, we got the Boston Bruins and the Detroit Red Wings. So Red Wings, man, they squeaked in. What a fucking year it was. I mean, the beginning was really rough. Ended up so many injuries, man. Nike was coming up, absolutely tearing up the league. What a year for him. Thomas Tatar, Riley Sheahan, so many young players filled the void of players like Zetterberg and Datsuk, right? And it's been great. So, I mean, it's looking pretty good. They always do well in the playoffs, so it's going to be a really good series. But if I had to put all my bias aside, I'd have to say Boston 6, because it's just been one hell of a year for Boston. I would love for myself to be wrong for this, but being realistic as possible and being as unbiased as I possibly could, I would have to go with Boston in 6 games. If I had some money on it, I'd have to go with Boston in 6 games. So that is round 1. Hopefully I'm wrong for that one. I pray that I'm wrong. But once again, I think that is the most realistic outcome. So that is that for that. For the next one, we got the Montreal Canadiens and the Tampa Bay Lightning. I really don't know what to make of this. The two really kind of similar teams. They got really good goaltending. So Carey Price has been absolutely stellar this year. Same thing with Ben Bishop. I don't know if he's back from injury quite just yet. So we have to check in on that. But if not, Anders Lindback and I think what's that? I can't remember the other rookie goalie. He's pretty damn good as well. So they got some goaltending depth there, but Carey Price is definitely a stud, and they have the stud in Steven Stamkos. So it'll be a very interesting series. But if I had to put a guess there, I'd have to go with Montreal in 6 games, just because I think Carey Price is one hell of a goalie. He showed it in the the Olympics. I can't believe I forgot for a second, but he showed in the Olympics, and if he can keep that consistency with players like PK Subban, Max Pacioretty, Thomas Vanek is on fire as well. I just think they have a pretty good depth in that goaltending. I mean, if he can stay on his head, watch out for Carey Price. So I'd have to go with Carey Price in 6, but definitely Steven Stamkos could be the X factor in this one. It's not like it would be a surprise or anything, but the forwards, on Tampa Bay, they've been absolutely tearing up offensively, so it'll make for a very interesting series. But if I had to go with it, I'd have to go with the better goaltending, so that's why I'm going with Montreal. Next series, we got the Pittsburgh Penguins and the Columbus Blue Jackets. A very interesting series, and a one you should keep your eye on, because the Pittsburgh Penguins, they were against the New York Islanders last year, and the Islanders took them to 7 games. So Columbus is a well-structured team. They could definitely give Pittsburgh a run for their money, but for the safe bet, I'd have to go with Pittsburgh in 6, because I think Columbus will definitely give them a run for their money. They got the goaltending in Sergei Bobrovsky. They're a decent defensive team, so they can definitely keep up on pace with defense with the Pittsburgh Penguins, and their offense has been doing surprisingly really well. So Ryan Johansson's having one hell of a year, and Boone Jenner and all these other players, right? It's gonna be for a very interesting series, but obviously they have Crosby, Malkin. It's just I don't know who will perform in the playoffs, so it'll be very interesting. But if I had to go with a safe pick, obviously I go with the Penguins, so I'll go with the Pittsburgh Penguins in 6 games. Next, guys, we have the New York Rangers and the Philadelphia Flyers. This is going to be one hell of a series. I love watching Flyers playoff hockey. Always love watching the team in the playoffs. They're very exciting. And Giroux, man, he's been absolutely tearing it up. Same with Voracek. I mean, their offense is definitely there. And I really like how the team is built for the playoffs. I mean, Mason's been doing pretty well. They definitely have the edge in goaltending for New York. Obviously, Lundqvist has had a pretty good year. I wouldn't say like the old Lundqvist, but he's been having a damn good year. And Cam Talbot's a pretty good goalie too. He had a really good stretch at the beginning of the season, so Two rivals. It's gonna be a very entertaining series. If I had to go with it, I'd have to go with Flyers in 5. I think the Flyers are absolutely just gonna dominate. They've been doing so well lately. They're coming into the playoffs hot, and I just think that they're gonna be the better team in this series. So it's gonna make for a really, really good series to watch. But I think the Flyers are gonna come out on top. Alright, on the left side, so the Western Conference, we got the Anaheim Ducks and the Dallas Stars. So I'm definitely going to go with Anaheim in 5 games. Anaheim's just completely built for the playoffs. They got the goaltending, they got the defense, they have Corey Perry, Getzlaf, Cogliano. They just have the whole depth. I mean, Dallas is going to have one hell of a tough time against the Ducks, but you never know. They have a pretty good goaltender in Kari Lehtinen, so I mean it's pretty comparable goaltender-wise. Defensively, Dallas isn't as good. Forward-wise, they're pretty decent, but they definitely don't match up to Anaheim's forwards. Jamie Benn and Tyler Seguin are definitely going to have to step it up if they want any chance against Getzlaf and the Ducks, right? So it's going to be interesting, but it'll make for a really good series, and I think I'm going to go with Anaheim in 5 games here, so that's going to be a good series to watch as well. Next series, guys, we got the San Jose Sharks against the LA Kings. So this has always been a really good series to watch. I think they played last year, so it was a really good series to watch. And I think I'm gonna go with LA in 7 games. I think it's gonna be a really, really close series. I mean, San Jose is getting really desperate. I can't emphasize how desperate they are. I mean, they gotta start winning now. I mean, the bracket's coming a little close, it's coming to an end almost. I mean, players like Couture, they're getting on a bit. I mean, obviously he's young, but they're going to be going to their prime. They're not going to have the players like Joe Thornton and Marleau around forever, right? So their window is definitely closing, and it's going to make for some really good desperate hockey, and I can't wait to watch that series. But I think I'm going to go with LA in 7 games, just because they can push those types of series, and it's going to be very entertaining to watch. So I'm going to go with LA in 7. Next series, we got the Minnesota Wild and the Colorado Avalanche. This is going to be I don't know what to make of it. It's going to be interesting. I think I'm going to leave it at that. I want to go with Colorado in this one because Semyon Varlamov has been playing out of his mind this year. I think something like 41 wins or something like that, posting a really good save percentage. So they definitely have the goaltending. Minnesota's struggled with the goaltending, but they've been surprisingly well as of late. So it's going to be interesting. Josh Harding, I don't know if he's out. I really don't know what to make of Minnesota's goaltending. I mean, they got Darcy Kemper. I think that they have Josh Harding. I don't know what's happened with Nicholas Backstrom. Brizgalov has had a pretty good run, so it's going to be interesting, but I think I definitely have to give the edge to Colorado. Even without the playoff experience, their forwards are just absolutely outstanding. I mean, Nathan McKinnon's having one hell of a year. Duchesne is having a career year. Landeskog is having a really good year as well. I mean, all these players are having one hell of a year, and their offense is really scary. So I'd have to go with the Colorado Avalanche. I want to say I'll say 6 games. I'll go with 6 games. That was really tough to pick, but I think I'm just going to go randomly with the 6-game mark. I think that's a safe place. So I'm going to go with the Avs in 6. Next series is probably going to be the hardest one to judge. The St. Louis Blues versus the Chicago Blackhawks. This is going to be a really, really, really good series as well. A lot of these series are really good. But this one is going to be probably one of the more, viewed, if you will. But it's going to be very good. But anyways, I think the Chicago Blackhawks are going to beat the St. Louis Blues. I love to see the Blues beat the Blackhawks, but I just don't think that's going to be the case. Blackhawks are obviously the reigning Stanley Cup champions. They got the goaltending, Corey Crawford. I do think he's overrated, but he does play well in front of the defense. Defense is very good. I mean, it's comparable to St. Louis's. I definitely give the nod to St. Louis for defensively, but they can definitely keep up Chicago's defense, and they can definitely provide some offense. So I guess that's a really good plus for Chicago there. And the forwards, I definitely have to give it to Chicago. I mean, Jonathan Toews is going to be coming back. Not quite sure about Patrick Kane. He might even be back now. I really haven't been following the Blackhawks. But yeah, their forwards are really, really deadly. So it's going to be a tough series. I think the Blackhawks are going to win. I think it's going to be a 7-game series as well, but I think the Blackhawks are going to win 7 games. I mean, St. Louis Blues, they're no pushover team. They're definitely built for the playoffs. I just think the Blackhawks have a little bit more talent, and I think that's going to edge out against the St. Louis Blues. So, I mean, it did against Boston. It did against the Bruins in the final game or the final series last year, so I don't see why not this year for the series against the Blues. So it'll be interesting. I could be wrong, but I think the safe pick will be Chicago in 7 games. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. This has been my round 1 picks for this year. I'll be doing round 2, round 3, all that stuff, Stanley Cup final predictions, until we find out who wins the Stanley Cup. So once again, guys, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and be sure to like, comment, subscribe, guys, for more NHL 14 prediction videos. That is right, guys. Peace.
All this attention got me hype, cut the lights, baby, this ain't only for the night, baby, this is life, this is where I'm taking flight and never touching down, said it, now they know I meant it when I say we run the town.